Thanks for having me, Leslie. And it's true, ESG has been around for a long time, but it has had an explosion in the past year. And if you think about the maturity curve, I think we're kind of entering the teenage growth spurt. And there are a lot of reasons for that, but fundamentally, the world is changing. We were just talking about Hurricane Ida. We're seeing the physical impacts of things like climate change. But more importantly, what we're seeing is that the market is starting to value in a host of competencies around environmental and social performance. In its early days, people kind of dismissed it as, feel good finance or fuzzy math. How could you possibly make money thinking about things like the environmental footprint or employee engagement? That's really shifted. The market has started to understand that companies that are thinking about engaging and employing top talent, that are thinking about climate resilience, that are thinking about diverse workforces, those companies are increasingly performing better. And so I actually really think the next contrarian thesis is saying ESG leaders are starting to be priced in. How do we invest in companies across the ESG maturity curve and actually help them move up it? Because that in itself can help you exit into higher valuations and lower cost of capital.
Historically, some have argued that ESG is this bull market phenomenon, something where if the financials are doing well and you have all these macro tailwinds, you can focus on ESG. But what happens when the market turns? What happens when things get a little tighter, a little more difficult in the economy? Does ESG still remain a focus for a lot of executives in the C-suite and asset managers who put the dollars behind these companies?
I think COVID was a great test case for that. When we kicked off the beginning of 2020, everyone was talking about climate change, and then a global pandemic hit. And I had a couple of people ask me kind of in whispers, like, oh, does this mean that ESG is, in the back seat now? And we actually saw the exact opposite. It really accelerated a focus on ESG. And what we saw was that our companies at Carlyle that had management teams that were forward thinking, that had already been planning in a resilient and agile way around employee safety, around remote work, they were able to weather that storm. And so I think ESG is almost a hallmark for management excellence. It's companies that are forward thinking and see what's coming at them. And so in a time when ESG really could have taken a back seat, I think COVID has very much accelerated the focus on that.